Hey guys, Jody here, and welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a while since I made a video on my channel, so hello again, and thank you so very much for once again tuning in. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Jody, and I love the arts. I mostly talk about books, television, and theater on my channel, so if you like any of those things, be sure to stick around because I'm certainly going to be talking about one of those things today. And if you love Broadway and you love theater, today's video might very well just interest you because I'm going to be talking about the 5 Broadway shows I would love to see on Broadway right now. So, a few months ago, I did talk on my channel about why Broadway and theater is so important to me, why I haven't seen any shows since Broadway's big return, and so you might hear me say in this video a lot, I'm probably not going to make it to the show, I probably won't see the show, stuff like that, because, just a lot going on, and seeing Broadway shows is not quite as easy for me as it was once upon a time ago, because I was seeing Broadway shows pretty regularly for about 20 years before 2020 happened. So, in another life, I probably would have seen these shows, but now this is like a wish list of shows I would like to see if seeing shows was a possibility at the moment, which it kind of is not for me. But yeah, I'm not sure if I said it already. I made a playlist on my channel titled Broadway. It's the first video in that playlist where I talk all about why I love Broadway and theater and why I haven't seen any shows in quite some time. And I guess to add to why I haven't seen any shows in quite some time is I haven't been feeling well the last few weeks, so traveling, realistically, it really isn't like an option for me right now. So, yeah, just a new unfortunate element to add to why I haven't seen any shows in forever. But, this video is probably silly to make, but I love Broadway, I love theater, and I would love to talk about what shows I would like to see if seeing shows was still a thing for me right now. So, let's just jump on in today's video. So the first show I'll be talking about is probably the show I want to see the most out of the 5 I'm going to be talking about today. Before I say what that show is, I will give a little bit of a hint, a little bit of a clue to what show I might be talking about now. And this little, I think it's like an ornament, but it's in the shape of a shark. If you couldn't figure that, this is a shark. Okay, so the first show I would love to see right now, if there was only one show I was given the opportunity to see right now, and I can only pick one and only one, my first Broadway show that I would love to see right now is The Shark is Broken. Now, The Shark is Broken is currently playing at the Golden Theater. I believe it's scheduled to play till November 19th, so there's always the chance I could make it to the show. Miracles happen. Not sure they do for me a lot these days, but they do. They can happen, Jody. Stay positive, even though life is pretty sad right now. So yeah. I'm a bit of a theater nerd, so I was totally aware of this play before it was ever announced to come to Broadway. I think I had heard about it a few years ago when it played in London. And, honestly, I wasn't going to go see the show in London, so I kind of didn't look into what the show was about. I kind of just made the assumption, as most probably would make, that The Shark is Broken is, a stage adaptation of the movie Jaws. So I kind of thought that's what the show was about this whole time, and then when it was announced it was coming to Broadway, I was like, ooh, a fun, campy version of Jaws, because it's a comedy, so that's why I said campy, and it's like, ooh, it sounds great. I love the cast, sign me up. Then I looked more into what the show was about, and I learned it's definitely not a stage adaptation of the movie Jaws, but it's more of a take on the behind-the-scenes drama that took place during the filming of the movie Jaws. And it centers around the actors of that were in the film, Roy Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw. And, I saw what the London production looked like. They put clips out to promote the show when, the show's opening and stuff, so I went to see what it looked like. And I was like, I think I can pass on this. I really like the Broadway cast. It sounds like an interesting, play, show. But I'm like, I don't feel the need to see this anymore. Because I originally, when I thought it was a stage adaptation of Jaws, I was like, that interests me more. So honestly, anytime a show is not interesting to me anymore, or I lose interest in it, that is definitely a win for me, because realistically, I cannot see every show that is on Broadway. Even when I was seeing shows on a regular basis for 20 years, I never got to see absolutely every single show I wanted to see. I missed out on some. So I was like, I'm okay with this. I don't want to see a show that rarely happens, so yes. But then the show recently opened a few weeks ago. I was curious what it looked like because I like the cast, like I said. And so I saw what it looked like, and I was like, my interest is there now. My mind has changed. I want to see this show, and I really, really want to see this show. It's my number one show I want to see. And I think what sold me is the cast. I've seen Colin Donnell in a few shows on Broadway, and I think what really sold me, though, was seeing Alex Brightman in his show. He looks really good. I dare to say, just based on what I've heard, I hear he's really great in the show, and he has, a real moment in the show that it sounds like maybe a Tony Award-winning moment, and, he just looks really good in it. It looks like, yeah. And I've never seen Ian Shaw in anything, but Ian Shaw is actually Robert Shaw's son, and not only does Ian Shaw star in the show, I believe he either wrote it or co-wrote the show. So, it sounds like a really great show, and honestly, I think the cast is what sold me on the Broadway production. Like I said, I am most familiar with the cast, and they just look like they work really well together. They have great chemistry, and it just looks funny, but I don't know, it could be emotional. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I probably won't get to see it, but I really want to see The Shark is Broken. Okay, so moving on to my next Broadway show that I would love to see right now, if I was currently seeing shows, which I am not, but whatever. The next show I would like to see is Some Like It Hot. I've been wanting to see this show since I heard it was coming to Broadway, and I'm such a fan of Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman's music. I loved Hairspray. They also did Catch Me If You Can. I didn't really like Catch Me If You Can as a show that much, but they did have a really great score. And they also wrote the season 1, the score for the season 1 music that was in the TV show Smash. And Smash is one of my favorite shows ever. We need a reboot of Smash, please. Like I said, I love it. And also, I am such a fan of Christian Borle. I've seen him in every Broadway show he's done since Spamalot, so it's really been frustrating not to have seen this show by now, especially since it's almost been playing for a year, and I don't know how long, you never know how long someone's going to stay in a show for. Usually it's 6 months, a year, but hopefully he extends his contract in the show and he stays in it forever, because I would love to see him in it. Like I said, I've seen him in almost every show he's ever done on Broadway since Spamalot, and it'd be just a bummer not to see Christian Borle in the show, because he's one of the best actors ever. And okay, so it's also playing, Some Like It Hot is also playing at the Schubert Theater, in case you are interested. And the next Broadway show I would love to see, if I was seeing shows, is a new comedy on Broadway called The Cottage. It's currently playing at the Hayes Theater, and I believe it's scheduled to play there till October 29th. I really like shows that are very over the top and have a campy feel, and this feels, The Cottage feels like one of those shows. It's reminding me of I don't really know too much the details about the story, but the premise sounds like it has a very like I said, over the top, campy, funny feel. And shows that are like that are like Noises Off, The Play That Goes Wrong, and Boing Boing. And Boing Boing is one of my favorite shows ever. And shows that have that miscommunication thing in them, if done really well, can be hilarious. And this looks like one of those shows that's really funny. So I'd love to see it. It has a great cast. Jason Alexander directed the show, and Laura Bundy is in the show, and I am such a fan of Legally Blonde, and I saw her in Hairspray as well, but I saw Legally Blonde 3 times, and she was amazing in that show. And I don't believe she's been in a Broadway show since Legally Blonde, which was 2007 2008, so it would be really great to see her first show that she's done on Broadway in a while. So yeah. And okay, so moving on. The next Broadway show I would love to see is the current revival of Sweeney Todd, starring Josh Groban and Ailey Ashford. It's currently playing at the L'Enfantin Theater. And yeah, I actually have seen Sweeney Todd Broadway. I saw the 2006 production that starred Patti LuPone and Michael Cervas, and I saw an unique, interesting take on Sweeney Todd with this production. I really quite liked the production, but it wasn't like your average, typical production. John Doyle directed it, and if you're familiar with John Doyle's work, he directed, obviously, the 2006 production of Sweeney Todd, the 2007 production of Company, and the 2015 production of The Color Purple. All amazing, well-done shows that were very well directed. And what John Doyle's shows that I've taken away from his shows are, they have a very like minimum set design for one, and also Sweeney Todd and company, all the actors in those productions played the instruments. There was no like orchestra with a conductor and all that stuff. And I really liked Sweeney Todd when I saw it in 2006, but I would really love to see like, I guess your typical production with like a huge set design and a huge orchestra and stuff like that. And despite really liking what I saw, in 2006, I would love to see like, just like a typical production, and with the orchestra and a huge set and all that stuff. And this seems like one of those productions. So also like I just would love to see Anna Lee Asher and Josh Groban in this show. I've heard great things about the production, and I would love to see it. What can I say? And the last show I will be talking about today is Back to the Future. I've been wanting to see this show since I heard it premiered in London, and I really love, there are quite a lot of stage adaptations these days. Like, do we really need another movie to stage adaptation? Let's get some more original, new musicals not based on anything. It's far and few in between, but for new original musicals. But I have to say, I am a huge fan of stage adaptations, movie to stage adaptations, and if done well, the show can be really amazing. And some of my favorite shows are movie to film stage adaptations. And I just realized I forgot to say I'm wearing my Mean Girls t-shirt, which is a movie to stage adaptation that I really liked. But yeah, as far as Back to the Future, I'm sure I watched the movies when I was younger, but as far as the stories, like, I don't remember a lot of the details, and I'm actually like really okay with that, because then you go into the show not really knowing where the story is going to take you. But obviously I know that a time machine's involved. But yeah, I really want to see this show. It looks like a really great production, and the set looks out of this world, and it just looks like a real experience. And I would love to see it. So yeah, that's today's video about the 5 Broadway shows I would love to see on Broadway if I was currently still seeing shows, which I am not at the moment, but that's how life is sometimes. But let me know in the comments, if you've seen any of these shows on Broadway, like, how did you like them? Or what shows do you hope to see on Broadway in the future? Or, like, what's your favorite show of the moment? Yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so very much for watching, and, until next time, bye.